Hello and welcome to JAR City Session 3. For this lesson, you will need the following materials. You will need your volunteer guidebook, the student table tents, the junior journal worksheet, and then be prepared to access the digital presentation for the session found at learn.ja.org. You can work with your classroom teacher to determine whether you or the teacher will be responsible for pulling up the digital presentation each time you visit the classroom. We recommend asking the teacher to have the presentation ready for you if possible. To aid in preparation and facilitation, you'll see in the guidebook blue text boxes, which contain JA of South Dakota session-specific teaching tips, and yellow text boxes that include vocabulary terms and presentation content that's not already provided for you in your guidebook. At the start of the lesson today, please greet students and pass out their name tags from the previous sessions. Tell students that in Session 3, Entrepreneurs in a City, they will be learning about the process of starting a business. The next slide shows a picture of the Junior Journal worksheet for this lesson. Students will need this worksheet later on in the lesson. You can choose to hand out the worksheet now, or you can wait until slide 6 to distribute the Junior Journal worksheet. Take a minute to review concepts learned in the previous lesson. Ask students to name the 4 choices they can make with money, and then ask them to give examples of goods and services, or ask them to identify the different forms of money they can spend to get goods and services. The next slide features a music video, Money Flows, featuring our new character, Jade. Those who are familiar with the 3rd grade curriculum may notice that the cha-ching videos and characters have been removed as JA no longer has license to use these characters. This video will be available for all 5 sessions of the JAR City program. It is up to the volunteer's discretion as to whether you play the videos during one, a few, or all of your visits to the classroom. Moving forward, the next slide shows this session's vocabulary terms. This slide is interactive and provides an opportunity for students to come up and select each of the terms. I recommend asking students to think about how they would define each of the terms before revealing the definition. The word entrepreneur can be unfamiliar for students and kind of difficult to say. Practice saying the word several times with the students and think about having students brainstorm their own definition of the word entrepreneur to help build a meaningful connection to the new vocabulary term. You may also want to provide or brainstorm with the students synonyms for the word to help them better understand the meaning. As we move on, if you have not done so already, please hand out the junior journals for this session. Tell students that they will be acting as entrepreneurs and they will be in charge of making choices for their business. Ask students what they think a business needs to do in order to be successful within a city. Tell students that in order to be successful, they need to have a plan for their business. Now, this slide is a picture of a business plan that is on the students' worksheets. Please note that the following slide is also the same image, but contains information about each section of the business plan that will show up as you hold the mouse over each title. You can choose to skip this slide, or you can have students read each title and try to guess what they think someone starting a business would write down in each box, using the following slide to review and correct any misconceptions of the parts of a business plan. As I mentioned, the second slide of the business plan, including the additional information, which you can see if you hover or you click right here. Consider creating a plan for a business such as a restaurant, ice cream store, or hot cocoa stand as a class to practice. Go through each of the parts of the plan with students and have them help you make decisions with each category. The finances portion might be difficult. Tell them oftentimes people ask those close to them for help getting started. They could ask their parents, family, or friends to invest in their business. The word promotion might also be unfamiliar to students. Help them by listing some popular advertising strategies they might be familiar with, such as radio commercials, TV or streaming commercials, billboards, social media, and so on. Consider writing the group's ideas down either on the interactive screen in the classroom or on the whiteboard if there's space. You may choose to have students record the class's business on their junior journal page. However, if time permits, I would recommend going through the plan as a class using the whiteboard or the smartboard only, and then having students work independently or in partners to come up with their own business plan, which goes along with the second to last slide. As students work independently or with their group to create their business plan, please walk around the classroom and help students as needed. Ask them questions about their business and help them brainstorm if they need help thinking about the way they're going to finance their business or what they're going to sell or the service they're going to provide. If you have some students who finish up a little bit early with this activity, consider asking them to draw an ad for their business on the worksheet where they have space or on the backside. Use the next slide to help students reflect on the process of business planning briefly. Please plan to leave some time at the end of the lesson for students to share about their own businesses or their partners' businesses. You may have to choose just one of the prompts on the screen if time is running short. After students have had an opportunity to share about their businesses, you can tell students that they can keep their junior journal worksheets because we are at the end of the lesson. Remember, either you or the teacher should collect the student name tags at the end of the lesson since it will be needed for the last 2 lessons. And with that, we have wrapped up JAR City Session 3.